If you're looking to experience the great outdoors, a place for family fun, or just a weekend getaway, make your destination Texas. A special presentation from BigCountryHomepage.com.
Well, from the wineries in West Texas to the southern coast, we're taking you on a tour of the Lone Star State, featuring vacation spots you can hit up right now. Good afternoon, I'm Jessica Rank, and today we start at the state capitol, the Granite Dome in Austin, a perfect place to hear stories from the past. 24 monuments grace the grounds, and the first from 1891 and the most recent added in 2018. Wes Rappaport gives us a tour.
Capitol grounds are a wonderful gathering place for not only the people of Austin, but really the people of Texas.
Allie James is the Capitol curator. She leads the team that preserves and maintains 20 acres of property.
The grounds are really something that provide much more of a 24/7 chance to visit the Texas Capitol. As you can imagine, the Capitol is not always open to the public, and so the public can come to the grounds, and you'll see a lot of folks having a chance to picnic here, having a chance to run around and play games.
Each statue represents a part of Texas history. Firefighters, peace officers, women, and children. Nearly half recognize soldiers and veterans. The newer monuments honor different cultures and contributions. The Tejano Monument was erected in 2012. The African American History Memorial was finished in 2016. James has a soft spot for the one about cowboys.
It's not only is it a female artist working in Texas in 1925, I think that the Texas Cowboy Monument really is a nice embodiment of what Texas has been and what Texas will always be.
And as you might expect, some come with controversy. The Ten Commandments Monument survived a court battle over the separation of church and state. Another acknowledges Confederate soldiers.
Texas has had 6 different flags that have flown over it, so you certainly have a lot of different standpoints, different points of view.
I can look at every direction in that building and remember a story.
Mike Cox's great-grandfather helped build the Capitol. That's Mike in front of the building in May of 1952. His passion runs so deep, he wrote a book about it.
It's kind of a place to go, maybe to get some sort of reassurance of, things survive, things endure.
And on a hot summer day, visitors can fill up water bottles with a replica of an original push-pedal drinking fountain. At the Texas Capitol, I'm Wes Rappaport.
And again, all those monuments just outside of the building. Now, of course, if you want to take a look inside, the state capitol does offer free guided tours, which run from 8:30 to 4:30 on weekends or weekdays, and then 9:30 to 3:30 on weekends. To book a tour, or if you want to know more information about the grounds, you can head to the Capitol website. Heading now just about 100 miles southeast to Houston, where thousands are taking advantage of an affordable vacation, getting a little R&R in this secret hideaway. It's called Buffalo Bayou Park. Shannon Lanier taking us on a walk around the green space nestled in the middle of Texas's biggest city.
Nestled next to downtown Houston is a picturesque 160-acre oasis. Buffalo Bayou Park is a Houston landmark, but lately it's also a much-needed oasis.
During this pandemic that we're in and stressful times, it's really important to be outdoors for our physical and mental well-being.
Stretching 2.3 miles, there's no shortage of outdoor activities, from biking and boating to fun in the sun with a little run, and art installations along the way.
One of my favorites is by a local artist, Anthony Shoemate, and he has created 6 oversized words that you'll discover along the park. The series is called Monumental Moments.
If you're looking for a unique and exhilarating experience, come to the Wall Bridge here at Buffalo Bayou Park about 30 minutes before sunset and watch what emerges from underneath.
We have about 250,000 bats living underneath this bridge. It's the second largest urban bat colony after Austin. They are very helpful in decreasing our insect population.
If you can't make it to the park, don't worry.
We have created virtual tours so that brings Buffalo Bayou to you. So you can experience a tour in the Cistern, which is a historic water reservoir built in 1926.
Even if you've been to Buffalo Bayou Park before, there's no time like the present to rediscover Houston's backyard.
You'd be amazed. Each time you walk that same walk, you're going to discover something different.
And there's so much more to do there than Shannon could fit in, but to take a look at some of the other opportunities to have some fun in the sun, you can head to buffalobayou.org. All right, well, coming up on Destination Texas, a small town with some big history, how Cisco earned its claim to fame. Only an hour and a half away from Austin, Fredericksburg offers more history than just wine. It's home to the National Museum of the Pacific War. It's the only museum in the U.S. that focuses solely on the Pacific theater of World War II, giving visitors the chance to dig into our past and into the lives of the greatest generation.
So here at the National Museum of the Pacific War, it is our mission to educate and inspire future generations using the stories and the artifacts of World War II in the Asiatic Pacific Theater, and we strive to do it through the personal stories that our museum tells through these unique artifacts. This is actually a Japanese submarine. This piece right here, which is the actual USS Arizona Duro. This hole right here, this was cut by crew members to search for survivors in the ship. The Doolittle raid. This is actually a B-25 Mitchell bomber. They actually reached mainland Japan and was able to firebomb Tokyo. This is actually a flight log. Bomber number 4, perfect takeoff. Bomber number 9, perfect takeoff. As you walk through and you learn and you read about this, you realize that not only are you learning these lessons that these young men and actually women faced, but that they're still relevant today. You range from shocked and just sad to just jubilant and proud of what these young men and women were able to accomplish during this time. They were ordinary people that did extraordinary things. So hopefully this museum allows people to connect the past to the present. The idea that we're all in this together, we need to sacrifice and support each other in this time, is a really interesting and important lesson we can take from World War II and bring it to today's times as well.
Now, the museum is open Wednesday through Sunday, but make sure you want to reserve your tour spot ahead of time and set aside 2.5 hours to complete that. Visitors will be required to wear face masks. Heading a little closer to home, Cisco, part of the humble beginnings of the Hilton Hotel Empire. And even though it's been 100 years since Conrad Hilton first stepped into the Mobley Hotel, this landmark is still breathing life into the city. Today, these bells can be heard ringing off the walls of the Cisco Chamber of Commerce, or as some know it, the Community Center. But if we go back 100 years,
just to actually have something that we can hold on to from the past,
these red bricks will tell a different story. It was the year 1919, in the height of the oil boom, and Conrad Hilton was headed east to start his career in banking.
One of his buddies said, "Connie, if you want to make your fortune, go to Texas."
And so with $5,000 in his pocket, the young entrepreneur set his sights on Wichita Falls before eventually landing in Cisco.
So he come here to the Mobley Hotel to rest.
Where at the time the owner was renting rooms on 8-hour shifts. A full house when Conrad walked through its doors.
He said, "I tell you what, I want to get out in the oil field and make my own fortune. If you'll buy the hotel, then you can have my room."
And so in that moment, Conrad gave up his dream of banking, throwing his money into the hotel business, and you could say it definitely paid off.
He bought one in Abilene, in San Angelo, Wichita Falls, El Paso, Waco.
Continuing purchases all over the world, creating his own Hilton empire. But for those who stayed in Cisco, these rooms have become more than just a one-night stay, making the space not just a piece of the past.
You know, our roots start from our history,
but part of the future.
There's been weddings here, there's receptions here, there's anniversary receptions.
Each person becoming their own piece to a puzzle that's still being put together 100 years later.
It's just important that we continue those roots that are so deep, here in Cisco, to understand where we've been and where we've come from and where we want to be.
A museum dedicated to Conrad's beginnings is located on the second floor of that building and is open to anyone during business hours. And keeping you in the big country, aptly known as the storybook capital of America, sharing the love all of us have for children's literature. And one of our more popular attractions is the Storybook Garden, located right in downtown. Those sculptures bring those famous characters to life for family and friends to enjoy. And while many of you have walked through it once or twice, what you might not realize is a lot of the art that was done was created by people right here in the Key City.
The community feel for it and just the emphasis on embracing the community wouldn't be the same if we had, not been able to use our local artists to make a lot of this happen.
Is the largest collection of storybook sculptures in the United States and is open to the public 24/7. And coming up, you might want to hear wine country. You might not think about West Texas, but Lubbock is seeing a winery boom. After the break, why the city has become a destination for any wine lover. Well, welcome back. Forbes calls it America's most underrated destination for top quality wine, and it's just about 2 hours away from here in the Key City. Lubbock is home to 6 award-winning wineries and one of the few cities where visitors can watch their wine go from grape to glass. Leah Doherty gives us a look into the booming industry of West Texas wine.
This is where all the magic really happens. This is where everything's grown. The Texas wine industry starts and truly finishes here, in my opinion.
West Texas is making its mark on the wine industry, growing 90% of the state's grapes right here on the South Plains.
It's probably close to about 4,000 to 5,000 acres now planted out here, and that number is usually increasing.
So why West Texas? Mueller says it's because of the climate.
We have really good soil types, but also we have such high prevailing winds that you can't get a lot of different molds and infections of that sort.
But wine isn't just something you pick up at the grocery store and take home. It's become an experience.
Someone can come and see our vineyard and come to the winery in the same weekend. It's exciting to show that to the rest of Texas.
The Hill family has been growing grapes in West Texas since 2002, started making wine in 2015, and this year decided to open a winery and bistro in downtown Lubbock.
This building was built in 1933, and it was the Crest department store, and it stayed in business for several decades, and then it was vacant for a long time, and we were excited to bring new life to it.
From touring the vineyards to watching the wine get made and then pairing it with local cuisines, Lubbock is a destination for any wine lover.
A lot of the boom has been growers just like us deciding to get into the winery business. It's really a neat experience to see the grape go all the way to the glass.
It doesn't feel like work when you're coming out here. I say that every day.
A breakdown of all the wineries in the city and surrounding areas can be found on Lubbock.com. There you can also find locations, hours, and any upcoming event details. And from grapes to peaches, things are certainly blooming in Texas Hill Country as peach season begins. But you don't have to go far to get your hands on one of the region's most popular fruits, with stands set up all along Highway 290. But today we're going to tell you about one orchard that lets you pick straight from the tree.
Pick that one. Look at all of these peaches.
We enjoy having them come out.
Yay! You can smell that peach if you want to, love.
Kids love it. The families love it.
I'm looking for red and juicy and the smell that's good.
Oh my goodness, that smells so good.
We have people come and get engaged out here, and then they come back with their first child, and then their second, and their third, and it's a whole tradition. And I think that goes back to when y'all first started out doing this.
We've been growing peaches since 1961.
Oh, I like that it's red and not squishy, and it has a lot of juice in it.
We figure, why not share our opportunity with everyone else? Not everybody gets to live like this.
It gives us a chance to be outside and do stuff as a family and not really be worried. And she enjoys it, and she gets her energy out.
Originally, we were concerned when everything was starting with COVID-19. Would people come out? Would they feel safe getting out? How were we going to move all this fruit that's going to ripen no matter what? Since 80% of our business is pick your own, and we sell it just right here at our store. But people are coming out.
This isn't something that happens every day anymore. It's very rewarding. And we're here to support this small business, this farm, that you know that they need it too.
It's a great way to get out and not have to be too close to people and just kind of take a break from all this seriousness lately.
That looks good.
And if that's got your mouth watering, Yinsky Orchards is open every day of the week, and you just pay for what you pick. Peach season usually goes until late August or early September, and then in the fall there's pumpkin picking and Christmas tree cutting. And before we head to break, if grapes or peaches weren't enough, you might want to try your hand at blueberry picking. The Tyler Blueberry Farm, located in Tyler, Texas, switching things up this year to encouraging social distancing, letting visitors pick their own berries, then weigh them, and then leave the cash based on the honor system. The owners saying they trust their customers to remain open through the summer months. And coming up, we'll take a drive up to the Panhandle and gaze at the second largest canyon in the United States. The Texas Panhandle is home to one of the most impressive attractions in the state. The Palo Duro Canyon is the second largest canyon in the United States, and it's up near Amarillo, and according to locals, it's definitely a sight to see.
It's been dubbed the Grand Canyon of Texas.
Geologically, the canyon is about 1 million years old.
The Palo Duro Canyon State Park in the Panhandle holds its own history.
It started forming when the two creeks that currently run around the town of Canyon joined together and started cutting down through the cap rock. The humans have been around the canyon for about 12,000 years or so. Big game hunters that hunted things like mammoth. There's many thousands of years of Native American history in the canyons.
Fast forward to today, and over 400,000 people visit the canyon annually.
We are one of the busiest state parks in Texas. There's about 50 miles of hiking, biking, and equestrian trails.
I think it's just pretty to come out and see like nature and get to walk around. I've never been hiking, so I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it or not, but I hope I do.
And if hiking isn't your thing, there's camping and other experiences.
We also have some concessions, some private businesses that operate within the park, and they do horseback rides. We have gift shops.
However you decide to enjoy the canyon, you'll want to be prepared.
By far, the most dangerous thing in Palo Duro Canyon is the heat. Make sure that you're drinking ample amounts of water. We just try to share the story of the place, share the history of the place, and help people understand that this is their park for them to enjoy.
Well, you're not going to see hills like that here in the Key City, and hey, a 5-hour drive is a lot better than driving all the way to the Grand Canyon, and you get to see kind of a little bit about the same thing. Well, the entry fee for that is $8 for adults and $12 for kids, or 12 and under get in for free, so what a great trip to take. Well, when we come back, it's a well-known gem on the southern Texas coast with its calm waters, clean beaches. There's something for everyone on South Padre Island. We are nearing the end of our tour of Texas, but we have one more place to show you. Jeremiah Wilcox shows us the beauty South Padre Island has to offer.
The white beaches and tranquil ocean waters attract birds, sea turtles, and families from all over the world.
The clear water here, the clean beach, one of the cleanest beaches in Texas, we think.
Frank Pace travels to the island twice a year to get away and spend time with his family.
We fly kites every time, and we bought new kites.
The island spans from South Texas into the Gulf of Mexico, making it not just a beach destination, but also a fisher's paradise for Alma Mia Sylvia and her family.
Coming out and doing something like as a family and like actually being like together and talking and just being quiet together, it's fun. It's pretty fun.
One of the main attractions here on the island is the beach. And almost everyone I spoke to say when they leave the island, they leave feeling one thing, and that's relaxed.
Serenity is just wonderful.
Isaac and Alicia spent majority of their day staring at the ocean in bliss.
Relaxing,
peaceful.
Freedom.
It's a sense of community that keeps everyone coming back to the island.
You know, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. No, we go back to Texas every time.
It feels good to be out like by the water where it's fresh and stuff because like this hot weather, it's like an everyday thing.
we come here, even though it's another 4-hour drive for us.
Well, if you head to South Padre Island, always make sure to bring your sunscreen. I know that's always something I forget, or you don't put on enough and then you come back burnt. I know I've already gotten burnt this summer. But I hope you guys enjoyed that, and you guys, I mean, just from taking a trip down to Cisco, 40 minutes away, or if you want to take a trip all the way down to South Padre Island. That concludes our tour of Texas. Thanks for joining us and have a great weekend. We will see you soon.